Merry Christmas. Recently, someone who's getting into the preparedness movement approached me about using the buckets that cat litter comes in to store food in. Now, there was another person there who interjected themselves into our conversation, or the know-it-all interjected itself into our conversation before I was able to offer an opinion. And the know-it-all proceeded to tell us about how toxic the cat litter is, the deodorizer in the cat litter is, how toxic the bucket is, how toxic the air in the bucket is, and that you cannot store food in a cat litter bucket. Now, after the know-it-all left the conversation, the person asking for my opinion on this stated they weren't talking about taking and dumping raw food into the cat litter bucket and calling it a food bucket. What they were wanting to do was take and make like a 72-hour kit, put everything in it, and then store it somewhere. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to do a 72-hour cat litter bucket. Before I get started, I want to go over some of the arguments against using a cat litter bucket to store food in. Number one, of course, is the cat litter itself. People say that it's toxic, this, that, and the other. Now, cat litter, just plain straight cat litter, is just bentonite, and bentonite is also used as a clarifier in wine. So I don't know about you, if it's that toxic, I wouldn't use it to clarify my wine that I'm going to drink. As for scented cat litter, it's still bentonite clay, and then it has a deodorizing pellet in it, or deodorizing system, I believe is what they call it. And yes, it does put out a small amount of fragrance or whatever, but it also has to be pet safe. The last argument against it is the bucket itself. Now, all plastics are made out of chemicals. There's just no getting around that. But they come in different levels. Some of them are, food grade, some of them are not. If you flip a cat litter bucket over, you can see inside the recycling symbol what the number is. And a lot of them are a number 5 PP, which is number 5 polypropylene, which is a high temp plastic and normally used to make like milk cartons, medicine bottles, and all kinds of different things. So with all that out of the way, let's get started. So here's a close-up look at the bottom of the bucket. It's a number 5 inside the recycle symbol, and it says PP. So this is a number 5 polypropylene bucket. The number 5 polypropylene plastic has a high melting temperature and is normally associated with food storage, such as like yogurt containers, milk containers, and even prescription bottles. Now, as you can see, this bucket is semi-transparent, so the first thing I need to do to make this into a food storage bucket is to make it opaque. And to do that, I'm just going to use some spray paint. So the next step is I need to take a Scotch-Brite pad and scuff this all up so the paint will adhere to it. So I got my bucket painted, and I left it outside for a couple of days just to make sure there weren't any lingering fumes. Now I'm ready to fill it up with some goodies. So I got chicken and rice for 2 people. Figure a can of soup, some rice, can of chicken is about $3. I got spaghetti for 2 people and then some tomato paste to go with it, and this was like $2. I got chicken and pasta for 2 people, and this was like $2.20. And that takes care of dinner for 3 nights. For lunch, I've got 3 things of ramen noodles, and these were like 40 cents for the 3 of them. Then I've got 3 of the Star-Kissed microwavables, and these normally retail for about $2 and change, but they were on clearance for $1. And I know it says microwavable, these are already fully cooked and ready to eat, so you can eat them hot or cold. So that takes care of lunch for 3 days. And I've got a pack of various oatmeal and grits, and total up, these are like 50 cents a day for these. Then I have 1 cup each of various dried beans and instant mashed potatoes. And that's just some filler stuff to go along with dinner. Then I've got a condiment pack that's got peanut butter, sweet and low, coffee, tea, apple cider, things like that in it. Then I've got an accessory pack that's got face mask, gloves, Tums, aspirin, Halls, antiseptic wipes, as well as moist towelettes. Now here's that 72-hour kit inside the bucket, and as you can see, I still got room to spare. Now that I've got my bucket filled, I need to add a couple of things to finish it out. Number 1 being a lock to keep this lid from getting popped open. To do that, I'm going to take and drill a hole through this lip and then through this edge right here, and then zip tie them together. Just like so. Then I'm going to take and put a nondescript label across the top. Christmas lights. Now, in order for me to know what's in this bucket, I'd have to open it unless I put a label on it. But I don't want to put a label on there where it'll be seen, so what I'm going to do is put my label on the bottom. So now my 72-hour bucket is finished. So here's my food bucket next to one of my other emergency buckets. We have used cat litter buckets that had both scented and unscented cat litter in them for years without any ill effects, such as, fragrance, funky smelling food, this, that, and the other. And we've stored dried rice, instant mashed potatoes, dried beans, and pasta. And my fiance is a picky eater, so I know that if it smelled funky, she wouldn't eat it. But that is my take on using a cat litter bucket to make like a 72-hour kit. And the total kit cost me like $20 and change. And I know I'm not including the price of the bucket because the bucket is surplus for me having to buy cat litter. But anyway, so whether you agree or disagree, let me know in the comments. And maybe we can put this argument to rest once and for all. So thank y'all for watching. Everybody have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.